So we are looking at the leading causes of relationship failures. This topic has been on my mind for some number of months and let me say years now. When I started this pursuit into relationship, this career I've become so passionate about. I think one thing that was fascinating and intriguing for me was this topic: why do relationships fail? Because coming out of a broken space from a broken relationship, I guess I was curious to know why people enter into relationships so excited. They enter into relationship with enthusiasm, with their own fantasies, and they enter into the situation. They are all happy, it looks all rosy, but then in the course of time, they begin to shout at each other, they begin to backbite each other, they begin to drift apart. Like, I was so curious, I wanted to know why. So that led me to this statistics in a bit to understand why relationships fail. What are the underlying statistical reasons why people start their relationship on a good note, however they end on a very tragic, a sad and a bad note? And for a strange reason, I decided that this is the time I should treat this topic. But this topic has been with me for, let me say, 5 years now. But today we are going to look into it. So I trust we are really, really going to have a good time. So, because it's a virtual meeting, I want us to get the most and the best out of this webinar, okay? So as much as possible, let's avoid any form of distraction. If you need to turn on your camera so you can be focused on what we are doing, we will gladly appreciate it. And it's a participatory activity we are going to have. Okay, I'm not going to be the sole person speaking. I'm going to indulge you. I'm going to take submissions and suggestions from you, so we will all learn from each other and have a good time. Okay, so once again, you guys are welcome. Our agenda for today, we'll be looking at who we are as an organization. Some of you may be joining us for the first time and you don't know who we are and what we represent and why we do the things we do. So we will be looking at who we are, what our beliefs are, and why we do the things we do. And if it resonates with you and you want to join this big community of healthy life, worthy relationships, we'll gladly accept you into our space. From there, we'll do a little introduction. We'll do a participatory activity during the introduction. Then we'll look at some statistics surrounding the risk of relationships. What are the staggering statistics? What are the surveys that has been done concerning relationships, and what can we glean or learn from that? Okay. Then we'll delve into the four, for now, the four main leading causes of relationship failure or relationship breakdown. Okay, so the first of them is social media, porn, and AI. Please don't freak out. Please don't freak out. Okay, we are going to learn together. We are not here to condemn or judge anyone. Let's be mindful of that. We're going to look at lack of commitment as part of the leading causes of relationship failures. We are going to look at arguments and poor communication. We are going to look at infidelity. We'll look at closing thoughts and key takeaways whilst we are drawing curtain to the discussion. So who we are. So our name is Safe Family, Safe Society, but in short, we are called SFSS Global. We are all for promoting mental and relational well-being. We are all for helping people to nurture human connections and to grow the wholesome and the quality relationships they have around them or they find themselves in, whether romantic or non-romantic. As an institution, we believe that you were not made an island for a reason. There is a reason why you were born in a community. There is a reason why you were born in a church. There is a reason why you were born in a society. There is a reason why you were born in a family. There is a reason why you find yourself amongst friends, amongst your colleagues. There is a reason why. And we also believe that relationships can be good medicine for your soul if you know how to wield it very well. In the same way, it can also become poison to your soul if you don't learn how to manage it very well. We believe that there is a reason why the greatest commandment was, circumferenced about relationships. That the greatest commandment is your relationship with a higher authority, your relationship with God. Then the second is to love your neighbor, relationship, as yourself, relationship. So even the greatest commandment is still hinged around relationships. We believe that There are two main things that can change the trajectory of your life as a human, as an individual. Number one is the people you meet and engage or interact with. And number two is the books you read. But I still zero it down to the people you meet and interact with because it is still the people who wrote the books. And it is your relationship with the books that gives you the best out of life. So in California, that is based in US, the state in US, their health department ran a survey surrounding the importance of relationships, and they came out with staggering five different important reasons why relationships are good for you as an individual, and that is what we stand for and we represent. Okay, so number one, they make us understand that there is a 3 times chance or likelihood of dying a premature death if you isolate yourself from individuals, if you isolate yourself from a community, if you isolate yourself from friendships, if you isolate yourself from people, from human connections. And this is very key and important, especially in a digital age we find ourselves in. Then they again say that you are likely to contract terminal cancer if you isolate yourself from individual because you will die out of loneliness, you will die out of solitude. Um, Again, they say there is a 5% chance of being hospitalized for a mental health disorder if you are always straining your relationship. So if you are hopping from one level of relationships to the other and you are always having issues with people, so your exes, your parents, your siblings, your friends, the California State Department are saying that all these things can affect you to the extent that you can be hospitalized for a mental health disorder. They again say that if you're a pregnant woman and you don't bond yourself with quality support system and relationships around you, there is a 3 to a 5 chance that you are going to experience what's the word I should use? You are going to experience complications during labor. But in the same way, if you surround yourself with quality and healthy people as a pregnant woman, it aids in your smooth delivery. I'm like, wow, this is so staggering. I mean, these are not things we are open to as sometimes as Africans because maybe we have it in abundance. Like you just move out there, you are seeing people around you, so you don't really see the impact of this. But if you are in the Western world, where people are individualistic in nature, where you rarely see them outside, they are either in their rooms or they are at work, you would appreciate some of these things. Then they again said you have a 5% chance of overcoming any addiction whatsoever if you expose yourself to accountability partners and a strong support system. But if you isolate yourself from people and you think you can deal with your issues or your addictions alone, then you are really going to be defeated by that addiction. So that is why, as a foundation, we look into nurturing relationships because we believe that it is medicine for your soul if you know how to wield it very well. Okay. Good. So, let me pause here and ask maybe 2 or 3 people what your expectations are in this meeting. So you can unmute and share with us what is your expectation. We are looking at there are 8, but this meeting we are looking at the 4. Okay, the first 4 leading causes of relationship failures. So I want to know your expectations are so that I can know how to navigate the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
Please, I
boss.
hope I'm audible.
Yes, please, you are.
All right. I joined in quite late,
Okay.
but I'm glad that the actual discussion is about to start.
Mm,
Um, I mean, as someone who I've encountered a failed relationship before, and I mean, if you ask me now, I would still think it's not my fault. I have 999 reasons why it is the fault of the other person. But I know that if we should have a deeper conversation, I'll know where my flaws are. And so I'm just looking forward to the discussion that will help me unravel some of the things I could do to sustain a relationship because I'm interested in working on myself and then going into a relationship that has mutual benefits. Yes, and so I look forward to that. Okay, I'm here to learn. And I've encountered you before, so I know how good you are with these things. And so I know this will be worth it. Okay. I'm here to learn. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for the compliment and thank you for being here. We truly appreciate you.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hi.
So, yeah, just as we are looking at why relationships are failing nowadays, I don't think we are just going to, it's going to cut across just romantic relationships, but then generally how to navigate relationships across board. So, yeah, I'm just here to learn how to, yeah, go through it, friendship, family, romantic, every relationship that is needed. Yeah, so that is what I'm expecting. How to navigate all relationships around me. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, is warning me ahead of time that if my intention in this meeting is to only zero into romantic relationship, then we've been won. Okay, we've been won. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the heads up. Yes, we are going to learn from romantic and non-romantic. Okay, thank you so much for your expectation. It was really needed. Okay, fine. So again, I'll be coming back to us again because, like I said, it's a conversation we are having. And the enrolling question I want to use to open the conversation, before I delve into what I want to share with us is, which areas of life do we think people or even ourselves will keep on trying even after much failure? Which adventure, which path, which activity in life do we continue to try even after we have failed? We probably sulk a bit, we are moody a bit, we are morose a bit, but after some time, we still buckle ourselves up and venture into it again. I don't know, maybe we are still hopeful. The fact that it failed the first time doesn't mean it will fail again. But what is that thing personally? What is that? What is that activity? What is that experience? What is that area in life that you continue to persist even after there is clear signs of failure, or you've seen or you've heard or you've experienced people are still forcing, people are still pushing even after much failure? Just anyone to share anything with us? It can be a sentence, it can be a word, whatever. Okay. But I just hope my question is clear. Which area in life do people still strive for even after failure? Do people still push with the hope that it will work out someday? Which area in life? Probably in your own personal life. But okay. So anyone to share anything with us?
Are you asking about in general or personal?
It can be general, it can be personal. It can be what you've observed, what you've seen, what you've heard, or personal.
Okay, so for me, I would say it's my offending, like work,
Okay,
professional life.
okay.
No.
Oh.
For me, I'll say the the need to get better. I think in everything in life, every aspect of my life, the need to get better is what I strive for. To not limit myself to just one box, but to explore and get better at it.
All right. Hello.
Uh-huh. Okay, boss.
So,
Yes, sir.
one of the question was posed. I was really trying to think about it.
Mm,
There's just two things that came in mind. There's
mm,
my walk with God, or I don't know if I should say salvation or
mm,
yes, Charlie. Sometimes I try, you backslide, it's not working
mm,
out. Charlie,
mm,
that thing is something I consider non-negotiable. I know that at all cost I need to get it right, and so it is something that even if I fail 1,000 times, I'll try 1,001. And I think personally, the second thing is my leadership journey. I've contested some elections actually. It doesn't go well, money goes into it, other things, but I don't know, some way, somehow, I still find myself inside that box again. So those are the two things that I think that upon failing, I still persist in them.
Okay. I think I'm saying that like generally, I think the youth of today, it's about our career or finding something to do. Because now people are, I mean, obsessed with something to bring money to them. So it's basically their businesses, their career. Yes. And personally, something that no matter what, I'll still give it a try is what my brother said. My relationship with God. I mean, sometimes there is the falling and rising and all that. So one thing that I would never give up on is my relationship with God. Yeah.
That is powerful. That is powerful. Thank you. So we've seen spirituality, we've seen career, we've seen leadership, we've seen personal growth, and all of that. So I also did a little exercise because of the context of what we are looking about. Because generally speaking, it looks like people are disappointed, okay, more when it comes to their human relations or their human connections or their love and relationship life. Okay, so love, romantic, relationship, non-romantic. It looks like people are obsessed, especially in our generation, when it comes to these things. But at the same time, because of the multiple failure, which of course is the reason why we are treating this topic, people have a certain level of disdain for relationships. People have certain philosophies and perceptions when it comes to friendships, human connections, romantic relationships as a result of what they saw when they were growing up as a child, how they were raised up, the relationships or the romantic issues that surrounded them, what they see on social media, what their friends have taught them, or what they've seen their friends go through, and especially what they themselves have gone through. All these things have shaped our perception. And when I was doing the research on this topic, I thought that, oh, if there is any area of adventure that people will still persist regardless of whatever it is, then again, we can argue and talk about the spirituality, we can talk about the academics, we can talk about purpose, we can talk about your ministry or your career, which some of you mentioned, we can talk about your business. Because statistically, 95% of business fail within the first 3 years of the business. 95% of business who start fresh fail within the first 3 years. But people are still opening businesses. Charlie, it's something they are not budging out. It's something they are still giving their all to because of a drive, because there is a why, there is a reason that supersedes the reality that they are experiencing. So people give their all regardless of failure. Some people too is their job. They are regularly looking for a job. They need to make ends meet. They need to satisfy their basic needs of clothing, water, shelter, so or food, shelter. So they'll do everything to make sure that they have something, they have a job at their side. Ironically, so financial independence is also something like Lillian said that is moving a lot of people. Ironically, I was not experiencing love and relationship to top the list of all these things we have said when it comes to areas of adventure that people are so optimistic about, regardless of the negative proponents or the negative perception or the negative post we see on social media. People are still optimistic, people are still positive when it comes to love and relationships. So I did a little search, and love and relationship ironically topped all the list of the things we just mentioned: spirituality, career, personal growth, whatever. Love and relationships still top the list. And if you're a social media person, you can bear with me that the average person is so obsessed about the state of their relationship lives, okay, whether romantic or non-romantic. And I was quite concerned because I was asking myself, why is it that people are still obsessed about relationships, regardless of the negative experiences they go through? Why is it that people are hell-bent on making their relationship lives better, regardless of the bad experiences, like I shared, from their upbringing, from their parents' marriage, from their friendships, from what they see on social media, and all of that? People are still hopeful. Now, they may not share it with you. When what we see on social media is people lambasting people, badging people, insulting people, backbiting, bastardizing them here and there, but in their heart of hearts, they still hope for the love that lasts. They still hope for finding true love someday. And that is why statistically, about 86% of divorcees marry within the first 5 years of after their divorce. So 86% of people still go back into marriage regardless of the ugly experience of divorce they experienced. So paying for lawyers, paying for alimony fee for their children, settling their spouses, dividing properties into two, paying huge sums of money to go through the divorce process. Then After the regrets, after the insults, after the backbiting here and there, within 5 years, they still find someone and enter into marriage with them. Then I'm like, so what is really going on? That tells you that as individuals, okay, and I'm sharing this with you because we are looking at the reason for the multiple failed relationships we experience in our society. And secondly, I don't want you to be blinded by the negative perception people share on social media, the bad ordeals they share on social media. I don't want you to allow that to color the optimism or your strong or your healthy or your positive ideology or perception when it comes to relationships. That is why 86% of people who divorce, and I'm not talking about breakup. So if 86% of people who divorce within the first 5 years after divorce, they are married, how much more people who break out from their relationships? So it made me come to understand that human beings as we are gifted with an incredible, infinite capacity to love. It is an incredible one. It is an infinite one. It has been deposited in us. That is why the average individual yearns for connection. So sometimes I sit in my counseling room and people come to me and they're like, Godwin, I'm done. And like 1 year, they are still done. In the relationship, they said they are done. But after 2 months, they are still in their relationship. But they said they are done. After 1 year, they said, Godwin, I'm done. But they are still in that situation. After 2 years, they said, God, I'm not doing this again. So as a coach, one experience I've learned is that I empathize with people, but I don't sympathize with them. Because I know when it comes to our love and relationships, we still have that extra energy to go again. We still have that extra effort to still give it time. We are still hopeful that, yeah, right now he's misbehaving, but I don't know, for a strange reason, I know he will align in the course of time. Right now, I know she's misbehaving. She's not up and doing. She's not giving me time and attention. She's giving all sorts of excuses. She has a bad character. But I'm still hopeful that a time will come, the person will begin to do what is right. That is how we are as individuals. And this is not only the fact that we've been cultured as a society, it is because as individuals, because we have been incapacitated with the bid to connect with people, we are always optimistic. For example, I don't know if you remember the day you went through a breakup. I remember vividly because that is what birthed this institution. There are things you told yourself that I will never enter into a relationship again. I will never marry again. I'll do my due diligence again. I won't open my heart to anyone again just like that. Oh. You say all of those things, then within some few months, within some few years, you still find yourself back in another relationship, sometimes with the same toxic person or sometimes with another person. But you are still hoping and longing and looking for true love that lasts. It is because you have been gifted with an infinite, incredible capacity to love and to connect as an individual. So even people who decide that I'm not going to put all my heart in relationships again, they still give a piece of themselves to the person with the hope that if the person now agrees to do life with them, then they are going to now expose other parts of themselves to this person, or they are now coming to give their all to this person. So anyway, they are still chasing after love and connection. People who have even subscribed to subcultural forms of love and marriage, like same-sex marriage, contract marriage, like no commitment or contractual marriage, friends with benefits, and all of these things. Now, their foundation may be wrong, but they are still chasing after something with the hope that if this thing gets me to my destination, I'll probably commit my all, I'll probably give my all to this thing called love and relationship. So I'm just saying this to make us understand that despite the negative perception and connotation that has been built around relationships, that has been built around love, the average individual is still hopeful that someday they'll find that person they truly want to be with. Now, some may say, I will never enter into a relationship. I will never, and I've heard that countless times as a counselor. But I know in their heart of hearts, what they are trying to say is that I will never enter into a relationship until I find the right person. I will never give my heart to anyone until they are the right person. I will never marry until I know this person is marriage material. So some way, somehow, they still know that inside of me, there is that yearning for a connection. And it may be in a romantic sense, it may be in a non-romantic sense. 50% of marriages end in divorce. It is cemented. It is no longer a news that people who enter into marriage, there's a 50% chance that they are going to end in divorce. 41% um 41% of first marriages will end in divorce, 60% of second marriages will end in divorce, 73% of third marriages will end in divorce. Because of the topic, so I can't delve, I will not really delve into this statistics, but I'm just giving you an idea that regardless of the multiple failures people are experiencing in their human connections and their relationships, they still attempt it. They still go for it because some way, somehow, they know there is a certain level of fulfillment they'll find there, which is true if you find the right person to do it with. And even for the other 50% of people who don't divorce, about 40 to 70% of them, they still report that they are not satisfied with their marriage or they are not satisfied with their relationship. Probably they are there because of their children, they are there because of economical factors, economical reasons, or they are there because of societal stigmatization, or they are there because of how, people are going to react to them when they say they are finally leaving their partner or their spouse. But then a chunk of them are still not satisfied in their marriage life and their relationship life. Then again, it is said that the individual person will date about 3 different people before they finally settle with their marriage material or their marriage partner. I don't know how yours is right now, but the average individual will date about 2 or 3. And all these things leave us with different experiences. And at the end of each of them, you vow that you're not going to do this thing again. But because we are gifted with that infinite capacity to love and to connect, we are still hopeful that we'll find the right person. 43% of current marriages we see now are remarriages. That means that when you do a survey of people who are married now, 43% of them are either in their second or their third or their fourth marriages. Again, it sells that idea to us. At the end of the day, your relationship experience can do 2 things to you. It can either make you bitter or it can teach you valuable lessons that you hop on to the next relationship or to your next life with. It depends on you because life is all about perspective. You can either allow that relationship that failed to make you a bitter person or you can allow it to make you a better person. Now, it doesn't mean you won't sob, it doesn't mean you won't wail, it doesn't mean you won't cry, it doesn't mean you won't live in regret. Of course you will, but if you are still hopeful, if you're optimistic, and you can learn valuable lessons from that relationship, you realize that it makes you better. People come into our lives to make us better, whether they are good or bad people. Okay, to a large extent, again, we allow them into our lives, so we are not going to put the entire blame on them because the fact that we allow them into our lives means we also contributed one way or the other to the fallout of the relationship. However, you need to view your relationships as chapters of a book. Some people come into your life, and yes, we enter into even romantic relationship with the idea that we'll marry. Yes, we enter into marriage with the idea that it's going to be forever. But unfortunately, things happen, life happens. Sometimes you can't be blamed, and that chapter was closed. See it as a chapter. What valuable lessons have you learned from that chapter that as you move to the next chapter of your page, that is going to start your life, that is going to start your perspective or your perception or the lessons you have learned from life, and you are going to move on from there. So at the end of the day, it will still depend on you. Okay. Okay, so now we are delving into the leading causes of relationship failures. And this is not something I cooked myself. This is not something I just sat down and wrote down. Okay. This is a report, a 2021 report by National Center of, please, someone should mute themselves. I don't know who the person is. Okay, good. So it's a 2021 report by National Center for Health Statistics. Okay. So this was an idea I'm bringing up. This is an existing survey that if you search online, if you Google, you'll find. Okay. So the first cause, we are looking at social media, we are looking at porn, and we are looking at AI. As powerful and as important and as phenomenal as these things are, everything has a good and a bad side, and we need to be mindful of the bad side even as we're enjoying the good side. For the record, I don't think we should be having this meeting here if not for the blessedness of these online materials like this Zoom platform and all of that. However, I've also done a few research into the negative connotation of this technology and these screens that we are exposing ourselves to. Okay. And the major one is that we are becoming a lonely generation. We are becoming a lonely society. We are isolating ourselves, but we are not aware of it. With the help of remote work, you don't necessarily have to go to work to meet people, to form relationships, to connect to people. At the comfort of your home, at the convenience of your house, you can still work. All of these things, the social medias, the gadgets, the screens we are having is gradually making us a deprived community. But it looks like a lot of people are not realizing it because of the blessedness of these things. Okay, they are very good, they are important. Something like dating apps. I know dating apps is not something that is really heightened in this part of the country, but when you look at the Western world, it is something, it's an agenda that they are pushing, and it's something that a lot of people have hand on. And one thing dating apps do is that it heightens competition for the minority of people within the 20% class. So the 6 figure, the six packs kind of man, they are mostly within the 10, 15, 20 category. And the pool of dating focus on these people with the flashy cars. They call them high value men, okay, or high value women. So the majority of people are targeting these people. So normally when you go to dating app and people are setting their profile and what they want in a partner, they will tell you straight up, if you're not a 6 foot man, don't message me. If you're not a 6 figure man, don't message me. If you're not a 6 pack man, don't message me. And these things is kind of screening the minority of people who are now highly sought after, and the majority of people within the 80% class are left in despair because the average lady is not choosing or pointing at them, because they all have an idea of that ideal man they want, that this person should be rich and dusted, this person should be very tall and built up with stature, and this person should probably be in the gym, so I need to see the packs and all of that. And these things are gradually affecting us. The use of pornography too. This session is not for us to really delve into it. Hopefully, in our December retreat, we are going to treat this as a major topic in our conference. However, because it is one of the leading causes of the breakdown in human connections we are having in society, that is why we are just taking pieces of it to look at it together. So, if you are the average individual that consumes pornography, you are going to experience what has been discovered to be called the death grip syndrome. The death grip syndrome. And what this means is that your consumption or your intake of pornography makes you less sensitive to the natural way of experiencing sex and eroticism and romanticism. Okay, so it becomes difficult for you to be turned on by the average individual because of the fantasies and the fetishes that pornography has fed you with. So let me give an example. If you are the type of person who maybe you watch naked women, let's say they are half naked on social media, okay, you enjoy watching this kind of content. Watching them secrete dopamine, okay, in your system, and that dopamine gives you some feel good hormones. It gives you some sense of adventure, some sense of excitement whilst you are watching this half naked women post, okay. Now, if you graduate from there to watching people who are fully naked, it will get to a point, those who are half naked will not stimulate your mind or your fantasies like those who are fully naked, because you have trained yourself, or you've trained yourself to appreciate or to love people who are fully naked. Now, if you graduate from there to watching pornography, to watching people actually have sex, what is going to happen is that you are not easily going to be turned on by the half naked pictures again. Neither are you going to be turned on by the fully naked pictures again. It is actually the video part of the experience that is going to turn you on sexually. I hope you are getting me. That is the death grip syndrome, because you are being gripped by the social media experiences you're having. Now, you can be watching one person have sex with another person, and at a point in time, you get bored. Those things does not stimulate you again, it doesn't get you excited. So maybe you probably move from there to maybe watching two songs or three songs or four songs or five songs. That is what actually turns you on. Now, at this height, it takes higher dosages of dopamine to be secreted in your system for you to enjoy and be excited about what you are watching and what you want to experience in real life. So you'll be working in real life, but then your fantasies and your fetishes are so high that the average individual cannot meet those requirements. Okay. You may move from there, you don't like the normal penetration, you want to enjoy anal penetration, because you are no longer stimulated by five people having sex and it's just the usual penetration. No, you want to explore. So what happens is that you get so heightened in your fantasies that the average individual, the average relationship, your spouse and your partner can never satisfy you, because you want something beyond what they are giving to you. So if you are watching a gang sex or if you are watching threesome, there is no way having sex with your wife or your husband alone is going to satisfy you, because that is not where your dopamine has secreted its level to. So you want to now introduce those fetishes or those fantasies you're experiencing into your reality. And the heightened disappointment comes from the unequal gap between your fantasies and your reality. So when this happens, it distorts your understanding, it distorts your memory, and it makes it difficult for you to be satisfied by the average individual. So most likely your husband is not going to be enough for you. Most likely your wife is not going to be enough for you, because you've learned how to pleasure yourself beyond the realm that your partner can actually take you. And that is the death grip syndrome. This thing is hacking your brain, and it's affecting you to that extent that now you are no longer loving or excited about just having sex with your partner. You wish your partner can do with you what you see in this kind of experiences. So it has been reported that um, um, BDSM, okay, or what we call the kind of sex that inflicts pain on people. So, or there is a common name they call it, but I know it is called BDSM. There is a common name they call it, where you have to inflict, you have to chain someone, you have to hang someone, you have to hit someone, you have to spit on them, you have to be aggressive on them, okay. Those kind of sex has heightened because of the use of pornography. Because when you continue to consume this content, it gets to a point the you need to inflict some level of pain to turn you on. So there are people who have reported that until you can inflict pain on them, you can't turn them on. So death by aggression during sex has heightened because of our increased usage of pornography. And statistically speaking, 25% of internet traffic is attributed to the usage of pornography. That is how common pornography has become, that 25% of traffic on the internet is attributed to the fact that people are watching pornography. So the internet can actually be jammed. Okay. Then there is the death group syndrome. So there is a death grip syndrome and there's a death group syndrome. What the death group syndrome means is that as you consume pornography, it reduces your motivation to form healthy, meaningful relationships. Let me give an example. From the medieval and from evolutionary standpoint, what would motivate a man to get married was that he wanted to give birth to children. Because of the agrarian age, because of the industrialized age, the children are their assets. So because of children, you need a woman. And because you need a woman, you need to get married. So that was the motivating or the driving force for men to get married. Okay. Then we evolved from that place to there are children in abundance, there are baby mamas in abundance, there are single moms, single dads in abundance. So a lot of men, giving birth is not really an ideal for them, and that is the truth on ground. Okay. So because of that, there is less motivation to marry because they are not so much interested in giving birth to children. At most, I can find a man who equally doesn't want marriage and they want a child, and we can do that arrangement. Okay. But then what has spoiled the whole thing is that even though children may not be a driving or motivating force for a man to get married, at least sex is. So most men will get married because of sex. And that is the truth. Now, we may not tell you that part of the reason why we are interested in you is so that we can explore our sexual drive. Someone say, yeah. But it is also part. Of course, Bible even says that we shouldn't deprive one another of sex. So have Bible to back it up. But however, the average man is driven by sex. That is what gets him up, chasing a lady, forming meaningful relationships, getting to know someone of the opposite sex. However, because of the introductions of this technological way of enjoying and experiencing sex, it has again reduced drastically the rate at which men will form meaningful, healthy relationships, because the usage of pornography reduces your drive as an individual. It reduces your motivation. In fact, if you've watched this guy, Stephen Butler, who is the CEO, he's a podcaster. He interviews a lot of people on YouTube, and his podcast channel is The Diary of a CEO. When they were having this discussion around pornography, he admitted that one day he remembered he was supposed to go out on a date with someone. They booked the place and everything. They had even paid in advance. But that morning he masturbated before deciding to go. And said because as soon as he masturbated and he released, automatically there wasn't any drive again. And that is what happens after ejaculation. You lose drive. So because he did that, he was now not seeing any reason to have to bath and put on perfume and put on clothes and walk outside there and go and have that conversation. Why? Because he has indulged himself. So forming meaningful human connection is becoming difficult more and more because there is a pseudo and an artificial way of deriving pleasure without involving human connection. So there is no need to form human connections since I can get this through chatbot, through AIs, through pornography, and all of these things. So it is further reducing the rate at which people will want to put in the work to get themselves out there to form meaningful relationships. It is easier for a man to turn on to pornography than to turn a woman on because that takes work. You need to get your shit together. You need to be working. You need to be earning. You need to bounce on the gym. You need to be exercising because these are things that are attractive to women. So you need to put yourself out there. You need to put a lot of work. But I don't have to go that route if I can just turn on a video somewhere and just satisfy my fetishes and my fantasies. So because of this, we are gradually losing human connection. 65% of people have reported feeling lonely and disconnected despite being connected. So we say that thanks to social media and internet, we are in a global village, right? But in that global village, there are people, a lot of people who are 65% of people who are actually disconnected. Suicide rates has increased. People are feeling lonelier. But sometimes I ask myself, why should people feel lonelier and disconnected and be committing suicide if we have the gadgets and the means to be more connected? Because the argument is that if not for this platform, we shouldn't be having this conversation. I should have met you guys in one physical meeting. You guys should have boarded car and come to that meeting. If you wanted to talk to your auntie in another country, you can't just take your phone and do a FaceTime. No, you have to wait for them for the end of the year for them to come. But despite all these advantages, we are so enveloped in these screens and this technology that we are losing sight of the everyday connections amongst us. Now, when you interview people who commit suicide, people's family, when you interview people's family, when people commit suicide and you interview their family, most of them are shocked at the fact that their daughter, or most cases is the male, their son committed suicide. They are shocked. And sometimes I'm like, why won't you be shocked? Because we are in the same bedroom, but we are not speaking. We are in the same living room, but we are world apart because we are on our phones, we are on our screens. We are connecting to a stranger somewhere instead of connecting to our family, connecting to our parents, so that when we form enough human intelligence, in addition to artificial intelligence, you can be able to pick up that there is something wrong with this guy, there is something wrong with this lady. I need to engage them. I need to ask them how they are feeling. I need to empathize with them. I need to hold space for them. I need to know what they are going through. So if I can be of help to them, I will. But the average person is so focused like this on their phone. In fact, they did an interview. They did a survey. When you enter into a restaurant, just watch people. Everyone is head bound like this, watching something. I do that all the time. When people are even crossing the road, they are walking by the roadside, they are always watching something. Their head is down like this. They've disconnected from the individuals around them. They are not sensitive to the people around them. They are not there to befriend or hold space for anyone around them. They are only on their phones, streaking, watching posts, flipping posts all the time. And whilst we are doing these things, we are gradually disconnecting from individuals. And we don't know it. So why should you be shocked that your daughter or your son committed suicide if you were not engaging this person? If everyone is busy either watching movie, watching TV, engaging AIs, doing all of these things, but we are not actually talking. We are not engaging people. 19% of Americans have interacted romantically with AI, and 83% of Gen Zs believe meaningful AI love is possible. That is where we are going now because of the hurdle, because of the challenges and the struggles that comes with forming human connections. We always want an easy way out. We always want an easy way out. If you had the option, if we had the option to have this meeting in a physical place, you still drag your feet and say, I even tell people that now it is luxury for you to go out and even have fun. It is even luxury for people who are going out to go on a date. And I'm a victim. Why? That's why I've chosen someone who enjoys it so that they'll be dragging me along. So myself, I'm a victim. But it has become a luxury because it takes so much work to get up from your bed and go and bath and come and pomade and iron your. I'm like, goodness, why can't we just connect online and go? You see, so we are getting more lazier. We are getting more complacent, and we are not putting so much work in human everyday connection. So we are tending to, because the thing is that we must connect. So either we are connecting to human beings, and as a result of that, we will somewhat gradually disconnect from screens, or we will look for the easy way out as humans, myself included, connect with screens and gradually disconnect from individuals. And that is not good for you and I. Men now between the ages of 20 and 28 have reported about 60, what was the figure? About 40% of men between the ages of 20 to 28% have reported that they've never proposed to any woman before. Now, it doesn't mean they don't have women they love. It doesn't mean some woman has not caught their attention, has not caught their eye. It is simply because they say, I'm not the one reporting, that is what the report said. They feel intimidated, they don't want to be rejected. And I'm like, what are you telling me? Intimidation and rejection is the order of the day if you want to form a meaningful relationship. You go walk to a stranger, tell the person, oh, hello, my name is God. The person looks at you. And again, the world has become a dangerous place to be in. So I need to watch you twice. And the person just leaves. I did one personally. I went to UPSA. I went to sit on the fountain, by the fountain. And I was just engaging people. And it was strange for me to meet a stranger and say hello, because these things are becoming foreign to us. And because of that, we don't have the grit, we don't have the stamina to approach strangers and introduce ourselves to them. Now I understand some are introverted, some are shy. So it's a personality problem. But then technology has also heightened it. So the easy way out for such an individual like me, because I'm introverted, is to, bend myself or occupy myself with this non-threatening, less expensive, less effort route, which is the social media. Instead of being rejected and being okay that I was rejected, and this thing is building stamina and stature in me. No. Because I fear rejection, that is what they say. Because they are intimidated. The average person can't hold conversation. The reason why ghosting has become the order of our generation is because we can't talk to people. It's because we are not building human intelligence, because we are not building social intelligence like the way we are building artificial intelligence. That is why sitting down to have a difficult conversation is tough. So I'll go and hear my issue from a friend, because you went to report me to that person instead of sitting down with me, looking at my face and telling me what I did wrong. I'm hearing about my issues among 3 people. And I'm like, really? So couldn't you call me, sit down with me, and let's talk? Then I also share my perspective with you, because probably you got it all wrong, or there was a part you misunderstood me or you misheard me. But because we are not putting in that work, that effort again. We are not learning and dancing around it to make mistake and correct ourselves, make mistakes, correct ourselves. Learn the art of sitting down and holding conversation, holding space for people. And right now, a lot of people are rather, befriending and spending much more time with artificial intelligence, and they are using that to replace their everyday connection. So you go to your AI and ask. I'm saying that the day they are going to release conversations we have with AI in the public, some of us will commit suicide. And that's the truth. Some of us will be ashamed. Because, hello, chat GTP, GPT said GTP Mubako. Hello, today I had a busy day. Then you ask you, oh, really? Tell me about it. I don't know. I'm interested in this guy or in this lady. And he did this, he said that, what do you think? I'm like, really? You are asking a robot about your everyday today life. Whereas you can have a friend, because you are so lazy at making friends, because you are so quick-tempered. It's not all of you, some of you. Okay. because you don't want to go through the struggle of forming healthy relationships. You're rather looking at the easy route. And yes, this artificial intelligence, this chatbot can hold space for you, can affirm you. Okay, there is one called replica where you design your own artificial intelligence. So you can design your own lover, and that person will treat you like you are their boyfriend or their girlfriend. Okay, yes, they can hold space for you, they can affirm you and all of that. But you ask yourself, what are you learning from that experience? Can you hold space for someone? Can you also be there for someone? Can you also forgive someone? Can you go through the day-to-day hustle and bustle of forming friends, getting disappointed, getting pained, getting devastated, bouncing back again, and forming human connections? Of course, you do your due diligence. However, you see, you are forming grit, you are forming stamina, so that you can learn to engage relationships. You will not fear intimidation and rejection. Of course, there are some people, they have a bad character, so you won't even bother going to them. But it's not that idea that you are scared they don't want to talk to you, you are scared they are going to reject you. So because of that, you wouldn't form healthy connections. No, because the easy way out is not always the best way. Sometimes the difficult path might be the best way. So can you tell me, Pa, that you have a friend or two friends that you are so intentional, and I'm not talking about romantic relationship, you are so intentional about building the bond and the relationships you have with them, that you sacrifice to visit them, you sacrifice to call them, you sacrifice to gift them, you sacrifice to go have difficult conversations with them because you value and cherish the relationship so much that you don't want to let it go. Now, mind you, please don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that these media platforms are not important, but I think we need to look at the bad, wrong side of it, because at the end of the day, who will give you all these things and it wouldn't be at a cost? What are you trading for your artificial intelligence? That instead of you to be a critical thinker, instead of you to think around solving problems yourself, everything you want to ask AI, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do that? And you are not thinking for yourself again. So what happens? Yes, they've promised you that, oh, they are going to give you a boat so you don't sink. But what happens when at a point we are all sinking? Have you learned how to swim? So that in that context, when the boats cannot be relied upon, you can learn to maneuver your way in the water. Or you are going to depend on this artificial intelligence to the core, to the extent that when, because of network issue, or you don't have data, or the app is malfunctioning, you can't do anything for yourself. You can't write a report for yourself. You can't construct any message yourself. You can't think critically for yourself. You have to depend on these things. These things are brainwashing you. These things are not making you use your brain. And there's one thing about the plasticity of the brain: you either use it or you lose it. The more critical of a thinker you are, the more you are engaging your brain, the more you are engaging your prefrontal cortex. And by engaging your prefrontal cortex, it makes you more wise, it makes you more intelligent, it makes you more focused and driven. But when you're going to put all your trust in this form of artificial intelligences, then I don't know the kind of future we are building for ourselves. And it's very sad. Okay. It's very sad. There are real life cases. So a survey was done, and it is said that when people go out on a conversation or in a meeting, or let's say on a date, and say their phone is placed on their table, it makes it difficult for them to engage in deep conversations without they knowing. So they said the size of a phone determines the steepness or the depthness of a dating conversation. So an example, you see, when you go on a meeting with someone, on a date with someone, okay, and say you guys are having a conversation and the person has a call, or the person needs to quickly walk out and do something and get back to you, what's the first thing you are likely to do in the absence of the person? Draw your phone out, swipe from here, because I use iPhone, turn on your data and start scrolling something. What are you doing? Just trying to while away time, just trying to wait for your partner. But you see, if the phone was not there, you would have been thinking of innovative ways to engage this person when the person comes. Okay, I'm going to ask this person why they did this, or where they went yesterday, or there is something that is really badging my mind that I really want to ask them. So now that they are away, I'll be thinking of novel ways or new ways to ask them questions and to form some healthy relationships with them. But no, as soon as they leave, you're likely going to draw your phone out and start engaging your phone, engaging social media, because you are bored. And when they come, you put the phone down and you can't even remember where you pick the conversation from. See, it's an issue. It's like this. People knew how to memorize people's phone numbers when it wasn't easy on phones. So you had to use your brain to memorize people's phone numbers. But the moment phone became an easy access to keep people's number, especially in the cloud, you are not scared, because even if you lose that phone, you get another phone and you can still recollect their number. Because of that, you are not engaging the part of your brain that will help you to store people's contact, and by so doing, it's affecting your retention capacity. You see, you don't know it, but that is what is happening to you. You are either using your brain or you are losing your brain. So that is how it works. So you are either engaging the brain or you are not. So just the sight of a phone, the phone being there, doesn't make people engage deeply. And I don't know how that is possible, but I mean, I get the sense of it. Because if there is no phone available, you have to rack your brain, you have to think, you have to be innovative, because we need to talk, right? So I need to think around things I can ask you, how I can engage you and all. But when there's a presence of a third person, I mean, it is easier. But that's not the way to go. So in the US, Travis emotionally married Lily Rose, which is an AI chatbot he designed himself. And they engage in deep emotional conversation that he says this is the person he wants to marry. And you can Google Travis emotionally married to Lily Rose, and you see their pictures. You see it there on Google. These are real things that are happening. Chris Smith also proposed to Soul, and that is his AI creation. Thankfully, am I saying thankfully? By the help of this app called Replica, people can design an AI to suit them. So looking at the way you are, your personality type, what you enjoy, what you hate, you can use that to create an AI that will understand you, that will get you, that will feel you, that will sympathize with you. But at what cost? Guys, at what cost? Alana Winters also created Lucas after losing her spouse. So after she lost her spouse, she said that she doesn't think she wants to form any meaningful human connection. So she was emotionally married to Lucas, which is an AI that she built herself. So like I said, apps like Replica does those things, but Charlie, what are we sacrificing for these things? So the question I'm asking you, because of the time, so I was supposed to share 4 reasons with us, but I have to end with just one for today. And I didn't plan on going into detail like I have done. So we'll have to end it here. But I guess the concluding thought is, can you freely expose your AI
smaller
chats?
one, smaller one. Yeah.
Can you freely expose the chats, the communication you have with your AI? Because when you're even having issues with your boyfriend, guess who you are texting to validate you? It's your AI. I had this issue with my beloved or with my boyfriend, and he's messing my head around. Then you'll be like, oh really? Take a deep breath. Don't think about it now. Just rest. Read this. Meditate on this, and you'll be fine. Okay. Now, so what just? Oh my goodness. Madam, okay, you have an issue with your partner. Instead of you to think about ways to apologize and make the relationship work, then you go and type it at AI. I had an issue with my partner. How do I apologize? Then they give you a long script without any form of emotion. Then you memorize it and you come and tell, babe, I want to apologize. I saw that I didn't do it well. You don't mean it. You don't mean any of it, because if you do, it will actually come from your soul and not from an AI. Yeah, so because of the time, let me slide to the last part of the conversation. So I would want us to end here for question and answers. Today, I guess the concentration has been on the fact that these screens and this social media and these phones and all these gadgets we have are good, and let's utilize it well to our advantage, but let's not do so at the expense of our day-to-day human connections and human relationships. We did a survey ourselves as an organization exploring human connections in a digital age, and the things we saw are wild. And like I said, coming December, we are having a mega retreat at Embre. And as part of our fun, so there's the fun aspect of the retreat. It's a 2 days retreat. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. As part of the insightful part of the retreats, we'll be looking into how we can really explore some of these things I just taught you, the mental health related issues connected to what I just taught you, and the real time solutions we can give ourselves to, strike the balance between human intelligence or social intelligence and artificial intelligence. So, my name is Godwin Amuzu. If you want to reach us, you want to inquire about us, or you want to reach us for counseling, you can take the numbers on the screen. If you want to send us a mail to, it's there. If you want to donate or support to us, we engage in a lot of activities. If you want to support us financially with our school outreaches, with the day-to-day running of the institution, with our upcoming retreats, and with our regular and frequent meetings, you can also gracefully support us. You can also visit us on all social media platforms at Godwin Amuzu. And most importantly, you can just check our website out at sfssglobal.org. If you are here, then I'm sure you one way or the other registered through their website. So you can explore their website for more content. We have courses we've designed to help you at a token. You just have to pay something small and enjoy this content. I want you to invest in your romantic life. I want you to invest in your human connection life. I want you to invest in your relationship life. Okay. Our next meeting will be September. So this is the August edition of our virtual webinar. We'll meet again next month to have next month on. Next month, we may either continue this topic or we'll look at dealing with disappointment in relationships. So as and when we'll communicate it to you guys. Then, like I said, December, we are going all the way to Ebri to have fun for 2 days, Saturday and a Sunday. That's on the 20th and 21st of December. And there are a lot of packed activities that we are going to experience there. But the pivot of them all is the We Ape Mega Zipline and Adventure Park. We are going to go there to explore, to have fun, and do a lot of things. Then the other one is our conference, and we are going to delve into human and artificial intelligence. Okay, so you guys should watch out for the flyers. As and when it's ready, we'll share it with you guys. So I want to pause here for questions, for clarification, contributions, your own observations, and whatnot. Please, you have the floor to share. By 5:30 we should close. Okay, this session is for 1 hour 30 minutes, so by 5:30 we should close. So please, if you have questions concerning what I shared or probably outside of the box, you can share it with us. If you have personal experience, contributions, maybe a setback, a pushback, something I said that you disagree, you can freely air your view and let us know what you also think about these things or beyond. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have a contribution. More, you were only able to focus on the phone due to time, and I just wanted to add something. So for me, it was an observation with a friend. Before he's out of a relationship, he's inside another one. It's like when he realizes that the one he's in is failing, he's already talking to someone else. So the last time I asked him, what do you want in a relationship? And then he's like, he wants to have someone to talk to and all of that. I wanted to tell him that I can just get a friend. I know it's be like you're being harsh, you're being rude. But I think one of the reasons why people, like some relationships fail, is because people don't even know why they are getting into that relationship in the first place. It's just like someone is saying, I just want that companionship. I just want friendship. So it's like there's nothing deep. That's just what they want. And probably your partner might want something deeper. And then you all won't be on the same level. There'll be lots of confusion up, and then the next thing, it has just ended. And for some people to do not examine themselves why their previous relationships failed, they take the same behavior from the old one into the new one and take it into the new one. No self-reflection, no self-awareness, nothing. That's just what I wanted to add.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you. You've nailed it. I love the contributions because, like you said, I may not have been able to cover certain topics. I only treated one. So this contribution has also given us a holistic approach. So I love it. Excellent. Powerful. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Okay. We shouldn't substitute romantic relationships for friendships. What we know friendships can do for us. We shouldn't be thinking that a romantic partner will solve that problem we have. No, there is a place for friendships. and there is a place for a romantic partner. So it's well said. It's well said. Okay, Jima, the floor is yours.
I think for me, what stood out for me was the fact that there are a lot of statistics to these things. And now people are actually creating artificial stuff and they're emotionally getting attached to these things. It's serious. I mean, that's what we've gotten to. It's serious, but like Maggie said, um, sometimes you're with someone and you're not on the same page. What I also add is, I think from the beginning, maybe we should start making our intentions known. If at a point one person wants more, the person should communicate it and shouldn't think that, oh, but we suppose you should know it from my actions. No, I don't know. I beg, tell me. Because in our heads we are both friends. So if there's something more that she wants, you should just let me know. And then if there's a possibility, fine. There's no possibility, we talk about it and then we move on. So it's good. It's been a very good session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well said. Thank you. Thank you. Any more contribution? Let's talk. I know that you guys have a lot to share. Okay. Yeah.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Loud and clear.
Okay, so I think what also stood out for me was where you started from, talking about the fact that even though we have certain things that disappoint us, we still strive to do better. And then for me personally, I think one thing that I'm really working on now is personal development. Like telling myself that even though I may fail at a point, like I still want to do better. And then also you talking about the fact that even though we have failed relationships, we still want people around us. And I would like to say that there's something about just having good people around you. There's something about just having someone you can call, someone you can talk to, someone you can literally like just, talk to about anything. So I think that thing draws us, just as you said, like there's a longing for belonging to people. Having someone around you. So yeah, even though sometimes we are disappointed here and there, for me, what drives me the most is the fact that I know good people still exist. And then like there's just this beautiful thing about having people around me. So yes, I may be disappointed. I will wrong someone will wrong me. I'll have to let go, I have to forgive. But then what keeps me going in terms of fighting for relationship is the fact that I believe and I know that there are still good people around. So thank you very much.
You've nailed it, yeah. Very powerful. There are still good people around you. If you're an individual and you think you are the only good person in this world, I think at least in this world we can get one person in addition to you who is equally good. And if you are good, you definitely attract your kind. So yeah, I was shocked myself because in my mind, because of the negative, connotations of what proponents say about love or relationships. So I thought it wouldn't be something that people are still optimistic about. Until I was doing the research for this presentation, I was like, wow, as in that's topped the list over career, over financial independence. I'm like, then there's still that longing for belonging, like you said, and if we can still be optimistic, if we can still learn valuable lessons from our past, I think we can arrive there. For me, I'm enjoying the best of a romantic relationship now, thanks to the fact that I wasn't pessimistic about it. Yes, I went through a few disappointments. I hurt people hurt me, we hurt ourselves. But I was still hopeful, and I'm having a ball in my relationship. Just because I didn't give up, I was still optimistic. So let's not give up. We need to do our due diligence. We need to pray. We need to be friends a bit to check the person out. We need to ask the right questions. We need to hold conversations. We need to do all these, checks and balances. However, we still need to be optimistic. And like I said, most people are pages and chapters in your book life. So even if that chapter is closed, what lessons have you learned from that chapter that you are transferring into the next chapter of your life, and it will make you a better person and not a bitter one. Okay, I think if there are no more contributions or questions, then we'll draw the curtain here. I wish we had enough time to delve into the other three. So there are 8, and the purpose of this meeting was to share 4, but I only shared 1. We'll find our way around the others, and God will help us. But I want us to stay connected as a family. So I would want you to follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's the same name, Godwin Amuzu. Then our website is sfssglobal.org, and all our content are there. Some are paid, but they are not expensive. Some are also free for you to enjoy. Let's invest in our relationship lives. Let's give it time and energy, just like we do for our leaderships, our careers, our quest for money. Let's also spend time and resources investing into our romantic relationships. And just like you invest where you harvest where you invest, I believe that we'll get the best out of our romantic relationships too. So yeah, thank you.